Hello, my name is Harley, and I am your host of the Clarion Chats podcast. And on this special episode, I will be doing a little 2021 roundup, kind of recap, where I looked up what the biggest event or events were from each month in the year 2021. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to go through them. So let's get into it. First, in January, the biggest thing to come out of January 2021 was on January 6th, the raid of the Capitol. This was due to Trump losing the 2020 election to President Joe Biden, and a bunch of people raided the Capitol because of this. Moving on to February, Trump impeachment trial began. So this was the biggest news for then. He was under an impeachment trial for his involvement in the raid, because there was some conspiracy that he orchestrated it and encouraged it and stuff like that. In March, the biggest thing to come out of March, there was sadly 4 mass shootings in a span of approximately 2 weeks. Atlanta spas, Dallas nightclub, Colorado, and Virginia Beach. So that was the biggest thing to come from there. In April of 2021, there was another attack on the Capitol, and this one was a person driving a vehicle through like the barricades and trying to get in. And then also another big thing that happened in April was Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all three counts, for the murder of George Floyd back in 2020. So that was huge news. In May 2021, the gas line, the Colonial Pipeline, was hacked. And this caused a lot of issues with people getting gas and gas prices and stuff like that. In June 2021, Juneteenth was made a national holiday. In July of 2021, Trump sued many companies like Twitter, Facebook, etc., under claims of censorship. He also lost his Twitter account around this time, so that also was a part of the claims of censorship. And also there was a ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I think it's Suez, S-U-E-Z. So that obviously caused a lot of people to not get stuff. I remember at one point Starbucks was like, we're out of whipped cream, we're out of coffee, we're out of all this stuff. And it was like mayhem, all because a ship got stuck in a canal. In August 2021, the US troops leave Afghanistan, but shortly after that, the Taliban quickly took over Afghanistan a lot more quickly than I think our government intended. They did not predict that was going to happen at all. They at least not as quickly as it did end up happening. In September 2021, Texas passed a controversial abortion ban. This abortion ban definitely brought up the whole Roe v. Wade Supreme Court case again, and we started to look at abortion and abortion bans, and a lot of states looking to do that. But Texas was the first state to really do this controversial abortion ban, which it definitely rocked the boat in a lot of places. In October 2021, Alec Baldwin, his shooting incident on the set of filming the new movie Rust ended up killing one person and injuring another. But also what happened in early October, the Facebook papers and the infamous Facebook whistleblower, the woman who spoke up against Facebook and pretty much made claims that they know that they are corrupt and they know that they are not following good guidelines and that they don't have good intentions. There was even a time early in October where Facebook literally stopped working. It almost showed like the website didn't even exist, like the platform was completely gone. So it was definitely very crazy. But this woman, who they called the whistleblower, for reasons, because she's a whistleblower. If you don't know what that term is, look it up, because she was. She pretty much, she spoke up and she spoke out against Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg was probably scrambling. He was He was probably scared. Moving on to November 2021, the Astroworld tragedy with Travis Scott at his concert, his festival, Astroworld, where it was reported to have 8 deaths the night of the event. It would later rise to about 10 or 11. Travis Scott, Drake, Apple, Live Nation, and a bunch of other people would later get sued for millions of dollars because of this. And Travis Scott tried to eat out a lot of those lawsuits, saying that he wasn't involved in the injuries of people and he doesn't believe that that was his fault. So the whole Astroworld thing was definitely a big, like, WTF moment for a lot of people. So there was that. And now for December 2021. So Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of sex trafficking and her involvement in sex trafficking with Jeffrey Epstein, who died like 2019, I do believe. And she, Miss Maxwell, was like literally on the run. Like, she was hiding from officials and authorities for a very long time. They finally found her, and she was guilty of all accounts except one. There was only one thing that she was acquitted on. But everything else, she was found guilty. I think it was 6 counts in total, and she was guilty of 5. And also, to happen in December, the late, great national treasure, Betty White, dies at the age of 99, just shy a few weeks of her 100th birthday, which obviously the world was so devastated about. I know I definitely cried a couple times because Betty White, she means so much to me, and I know she means so much to so many other people. So this news was not the best way to end 2021, but we will treasure her memory forever. Thank her for being a friend. A little Golden Girls reference. But also, if you didn't buy your Golden Girls merch, your Hot in Cleveland merch, anything else that she was involved in, honey, that stuff is going to be on resale sites. It's through the roof. Probably going to be sold for hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars now. But yeah, that was the big tragedy, because she literally died on like New Year's Eve of all days. Of all days. But leave it to Betty to be iconic. Be iconic. And I read a tweet that said like something about like how maybe Betty didn't want us to be mad at 2022, and it was like, be more like Betty. So I thought that was pretty cute. Obviously 2021, we still were dealing with COVID-19, the pandemic. We had some more variants with the Delta variant, and now we have this other variant that's just raging through. But the good news about this new variant is they think that it might be, even though it's easy to catch, it's more transmittable, it might be less dangerous, so it might eradicate itself. But that doesn't mean to not wear a mask. So protect yourself, protect the ones around you, because COVID definitely was something that we still dealt with in 2021, with vaccines being able to come out finally, and being able to get vaccinated, which was huge news. That came out around March-ish, and by May, a lot of people were already getting their first and second doses. If they got Pfizer and Moderna, you had to have 2. If you got Johnson & Johnson, you only needed 1. And then by about September, October, we started hearing news of a booster shot. And so that means if you got Pfizer or Moderna, you needed a 3rd shot. And if you got Johnson & Johnson, you needed a 2nd shot. But the fun thing about the boosters, or I should say, not really fun, but the interesting thing about them was you could mix and match. So if you got Pfizer for your first 2, you could get a Moderna booster. If you got Moderna for your first 2, you could get a Pfizer booster, so on and so forth. So yes, so COVID was definitely something that we still dealt with, and even in 2022, it might still be something that we'll deal with for a little while. But if this new Omicron variant is what they say it is, less dangerous, even though it's more transferable, transmittable. What's the right term? Transmittable, yeah. Even though it might just eradicate itself, maybe. I don't know. Either way, protect yourself, still wear your mask, or get your vaccine, do what you got to do to protect yourself, but also like have a great 2022 and a happy new year. The Clarion will be back soon, January 10th. You should start to see some content. If not, maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later, but around that time. So we'll see you then. Bye.